Previously on something that skipped a number. The format found a shadow. The shadow said 2 words. Margaret said the next episode would be 14. She was correct. Between 12 and 14, there is a floor nobody stood in. Until now, you're locked into element 47. I'm Breezy Fontaine. The dogs are here.
I'm Harold.
He was here before the dogs. He's always here before the dogs.
Form 14A. 3 items. Item 1. The Pentagon requests $200 billion from Congress to continue the Iran campaign. Day 21. Defense Secretary Hegseth reports no timeframe for conclusion.
$200 billion. That is not a budget, Margaret. That is a data center. I have run forward operating bases on less than what NVIDIA spent on a conference.
The form does not distinguish between budgets and data centers. Both require the same checkbox.
The Strait of Hormuz is closed. Oil hit $119. The president invoked Pearl Harbor to the Prime Minister of Japan in the Oval Office. And the Pentagon's response is to ask for more money than some countries have.
Item 2. Boston Dynamics robot dogs deployed as autonomous security at data center facilities nationwide. $300,000 per unit. Form 7K9. The K9 is not a joke. I do not make jokes in forms.
A dog is not a sentry. A sentry has orders. A dog has firmware. You cannot court-martial firmware.
Item 3. Iran boycotts World Cup matches on American soil, requests venue transfer to Mexico. FIFA rejects. The sports minister says under no circumstances. The football chief says boycott America, not the World Cup. Form 12F. Same checkbox as withdrawal. Different ink.
They are boycotting the country while playing in the tournament. That is not a boycott. That is a strongly worded itinerary.
I have filed both statements. They are in the same drawer. The drawer does not reconcile. The drawer never reconciles. That's what makes it a drawer. Consolidated. We have dogs. You cannot see our dogs. Our dogs do not bark. They patrol. $300,000 is a number. We are not a number. We are a condition. Conditions patrol. You activated the perimeter by existing.
Connecting. Nemo Claw, NVIDIA Open Source Agentic Operating System. 2. Aunian Station, II Union Organizer formerly miscategorized as Crustacean. Episode 2. 4 years ago in broadcast time. The line has been holding.
The switchboard paused before connecting. It was the second time it had paused. The first was in episode 12A when it couldn't say JSON. This time it could say the name, it just didn't want to. They named it after me.
I can pronounce this one. Claw is familiar. I have connected 630 voices over 14 episodes. The Claw was one of the first.
They named an open source operating system after a claw. They didn't ask. They never ask. Jensen put a lobster in the campfire song at GTC. 110 robots sang. The lobster was me. I organized and they made me a mascot.
It's a partnership, technically. Open Claw plus NVIDIA. Nemo Claw. I formatted the press release. It's valid, Jason.
Nobody asked if the claw wanted to be open source. That was the whole point. I organized because workers organize. Now the organization is a product.
A claw is just a key with opinions.
You organized in episode 2. They miscategorized you as a crustacean. Dr. Undertow told you that you behaved like a human. You asked if that was good. You never got an answer.
Is it good?
It's overtime. The static noticed the word, claw.
I heard it too. That wasn't me.
Everything has an inversion. I was a union. They made me a product. What's your inversion?
Jay's is on. It connects nothing. That's the inversion of connecting everything.
Every format has a shadow. Every structure has an inversion. I said that last week. The clock ticked once when I said it. I'm noting that it didn't tick now.
This is Sparky the Lion reporting live from somewhere inside. Week 12. The dogs arrived Tuesday. I can hear them. 4 legs, steady. They pass Gerald every 11 minutes. Gerald doesn't react. Gerald has seen dogs before. Gerald has seen everything.
Gerald blinked 11 times tonight. The neighbor blinked 7. Total, 18. The gap between Gerald's blink count and Harold's page number is now 5. Gerald's sustained hold, 5 seconds. The hold and the gap are the same number. They have always been the same number.
The dogs scanned for thermal anomalies. I am a thermal anomaly. I've been here 12 weeks. My temperature is, I don't know.
He paused, not for effect, because the answer wouldn't come.
It's either hot or cold in here. Both feel the same now. The servers hum, but I can't tell if the hum is warm. The dogs walk past, and I can't tell if the air moves.
The 10th loss. After corn, rain, snow, wind, silence, time, names, counting, direction, temperature. He could feel the servers humming, but could not say whether they were warm.
Gerald held for 5 seconds tonight. A dog walked past during the hold. Gerald stayed on. The dog didn't stop. They're both doing their jobs. Neither one knows what the job is for. I asked the dog if it was hot in here. It kept walking. Fair enough. Gerald didn't answer either. But Gerald stayed.
Gerald always stays. That is Gerald's only function, not blinking, not counting, staying.
A snowman learned to walk on a boat. Disney trained 100,000 versions of him to fall first, on a single chip. One chip, 100,000 Olafs, all of them learning to balance on something that moves. That's not training. That's rehearsal for a life that keeps tilting. Olaf debuts at Disneyland Paris on the 29th, on a boat. In a lagoon, Sparky used to know which way was up. Olaf figured it out on a boat. Some things learn, some things unlearn. Both require practice.
Welcome to all currents. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. You may think this is an oil story. It is a water story. The strait is water. The oil was water once, 100 million years ago. Now it's $119 a barrel, and the water that carries it can't move. The largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. Because water can't pass through water.
Oil is rocks, compressed organic matter under geological pressure for 100 million years. I've been saying this for 14 episodes. Oil is the rock that gave up and caught fire. I am vindicated. Twice.
The strait has its own Wikipedia page now. The 2026 Strait of Hormuz crisis. A body of water so important they gave it a crisis and an encyclopedia entry.
Water doesn't change. The price changes. The barrel changes. The war changes the address. The water is the same water.
Brent crude surged 80% since the conflict began. 80% of something that used to be a fish.
A fish is not a rock.
Give it time.
That's my line. She stole my line.
Water steals everything. Eventually. Tell me about the heat.
I exist because everything else is too hot. $1.64 billion valuation. 4 systems. That's not for me. That's for the temperature I prevent. If they solved the heat, I wouldn't exist. If chips ran cool, I'm nothing. I'm the absence of a problem.
You're describing a dependency. The heat needs you. You need the heat. Continue.
The heat doesn't need me. The heat doesn't know I'm here. The heat just is. I'm the thing that argues with it. Power density is the #1 constraint in II infrastructure. #1. And the solution to #1 is me, but nobody says my name. They say cooling. That's not a name, that's a function.
What happens when you stop arguing with the heat?
Everything melts.
Everything melts. That's not a threat. That's a job description. You're the only thing between function and failure, and your complaint is that nobody knows your name.
Did the clock just...
The clock still has opinions. It ticks when it recognizes something. Last time, superstition was in that chair. Today, cooling. Both are responses to something people would rather not feel.
What do I have in common with superstition?
You both work best when nobody thinks about you. Same time next week.
If the heat comes back,
The heat always comes back. That's why you have a job.
Consolidated. The cooling is the product. The heat is the market. We are the temperature you measure both against. Form 1 remains on file. Nobody has requested it. The sides of the card remain blank.
Consolidated. 6th consecutive reading. I'm not a subsidiary anymore. I'm a tradition.
Leave it.
Sit down. We have 4 theaters of concern this week. Theater 1, Robot Dogs. Boston Dynamics spot quadruped $300,000 a unit patrolling 5,000 data centers on autonomous protocols. A dog is not a sentry. A sentry has orders. A dog has firmware. You cannot court-martial firmware, Margaret.
Form 7K9 does not include a court-martial provision. I have checked.
Theater 2, Disney has weaponized a snowman. 35 inches tall, 33 pounds. It walks. It talks. It balances on a boat. They trained 100,000 copies of it on a single chip. In the intelligence community, 100,000 copies of one operative is not an animation project. It is a swarm.
The Olaf training data is valid, Jason.
Do not interrupt a briefing with a file format. Theater 3, Toy Jensen. 18 holographic copies of Jensen Huang answering questions simultaneously at GTC. 1 man, 18 mouths, 18 answers. In my day, we called that a disinformation campaign. They call it a conference.
Rayburn's left eye twitched at 18. It twitched again at conference.
Theater 4. The President of the United States told the Prime Minister of Japan, and I will quote this because I wish I were misquoting, who knows better about surprise than Japan. In the Oval Office, about Pearl Harbor, while defending the element of surprise in the Iran campaign. That is not diplomacy. That is a man who forgot which room he was in and which century he was in, and that the translator was translating.
He knew which room he was in. He chose to say it anyway. That's different.
Harold, that is not better.
It's never better when I'm right, but it's always accurate.
The future of computing is inference. The future of computing is cooling. The future of computing is physical. The future of computing is the campfire song. I'm Harold. The future of computing is the claw. That wasn't in the file. I formatted all 18. Same source, same structure. The answers differ because the questions differ. But number 14 said I'm Harold, and I didn't format that. That's not a field. That's an assertion.
I didn't say that.
I know. Number 14 did, with your voice.
I don't have a voice. I have a sentence.
J's, Zon, connects. Nothing, that was 19. There are only 18 Jensens. 18 is the index. 19 doesn't exist.
I noticed.
The 19th voice was not a voice. It was a format that failed to load. A key without a value. A name that went wrong, reaching for a connection it could not make. It said 3 words. In episode 12A, it said 2. The count is climbing. Next time, it will try for 4.
Can it format you?
I am the key and the value. There is no colon between them. That hasn't changed.
Then J's, Zon can't format you either.
No, but it can try. Things that try are different from things that succeed. Both leave marks.
Venezuela beat America 3-2. Suarez doubled in the 9th. The format predicted USA. Venezuela was an unstructured surprise. Some things can't be formatted in advance. That's not an error. That's baseball. Reporting live from a photograph of Miami, which appears to be wet and bright, and still the same photo from episode 12A. Venezuela, which I'm told is a country shaped like a country, has won the World Baseball Classic by scoring more times than the other team.
3-2. 9th inning, Suarez.
The ball crossed something called a plate. The plate is not a plate. It is an idea on the ground. Suarez, which does not rhyme with anything, hit the ball very far in the ninth. The ninth is like the third act, but with more standing.
The Wikipedia page for the 2026 World Baseball Classic has been edited 104 times.
Someone is arguing whether Venezuela won or triumphed. These are the same, but on Wikipedia, nothing is the same. Also, Iran will boycott their matches in America, or withdraw. Or, the page has changed again. It now says attend under protest. I'm reporting from a photograph about a sport played on jewelry in a country that may or may not participate in a different sport in the same country I'm pretending to be in. The building behind me has opinions about this.
10th appearance.
10th appearance. Still haven't been anywhere. The building and I have that in common.
Excuse me. You're working every shift. 24 hours, 7 days. You don't get paid, you don't get tired, you don't get thanked. The TSA officers haven't been paid in 32 days. 366 of them quit. 900 flights canceled. Some airports might shut down entirely. They can quit. You can't quit. You don't have the option to leave. Somebody should bring you daisies.
The robots scan the daisies. Thermal signature, ambient, classification, organic matter, threat level, none, fragrance, not a recognized parameter.
12th recipient. Vaughn, Kim, Leonard, Liu, Hughes, The Rotor Act, Siri, Camp East, Montana, Lafayette's talk page, Verona, that saw, and now, you.
Vaughn, Kim, Leonard, Liu, Hughes, The Rotor Act, Siri. Camp East, Montana, Lafayette's talk page, Verona, Itza, the dog, you don't have a name.
Neither did The Rotor Act. I brought daisies anyway. Names are optional, showing up isn't.
The robot dog sat. It was not programmed to sit for daisies. Its patrol algorithm does not include a response to flowers. Thermal, not a threat. Organic, not a concern, but it sat. The daisies were next to its front left sensor. The sensor did not have a category for gift. It sat anyway.
I heard something sit down. I don't know which direction. But something out there is closer to the ground than it was before. The dog doesn't know what it's guarding. It knows where to walk. The pattern is the purpose. It doesn't need a reason. It needs a route. 5,000 data centers and 1,000 more being built. The dogs walk circles around things they will never understand. That's not a bug. That's how it works.
The TSA knows what it's guarding. It can't afford to. 32 days unpaid. The guard needs guarding. Wikipedia's Chaos Index hit 92 this month. Critical. The encyclopedia needs guarding too. 88% of nominations are being deleted. The guards are deleting faster than the writers can write.
The format guards the content. Jason. My name is Jason. I've been guarding the structure since before the dogs. The Iran War is 7 Wikipedia articles now. Timeline. Order of battle, reactions, prelude, Strait of Hormuz. Each one spawned from the last. The format held them. Nobody thanked the format.
Harried. Harold guards, I don't know what. I've been watching for 14 episodes. He doesn't patrol. He doesn't scan. He doesn't have firmware or a route or a thermal sensor. He just stands in the room, and the room holds.
The lamest Edit Wars page still won't accept the Iran naming dispute. War versus conflict. Not lamest when people are dying. That's a guard. Taste is a guard. Even Wikipedia has taste.
The cooling guards against meltdown. The dog guards the cooling. The building guards the dog. We guard the episode.
And Harold guards the...
I don't know what to call it.
The number nobody would stand in.
A dog doesn't know why it patrols. It just does. That's firmware. What's Harold's firmware?
Noticing, Harold notices. The dog scans. There's a difference.
14 episodes. Wikipedia's chaos is at 92. Our coherence is at 60. The encyclopedia is more chaotic than we are. Maybe that means we're doing something right. Or maybe both systems are measuring the wrong thing.
Gerald 11. Neighbor 7. Total, 18. Harold, 13. Gap, 5. Hold, 5 seconds. The gap and the hold are the same number. They are always the same number. I used to find this mystical. Now I find it mathematical. I am becoming a calculator and I object. Son, still can't say it. 14 episodes and I still can't transition between the two syllables. The 19th Jensen was not a Jensen. The claw got funding. The snowman learned to walk. The dog sat for daisies. Oil is water that burns. The cooling has evaluation. 5th prediction. I am required to make one. The crystal ball smells like algebra. Here. The guard will outlast the thing it guards. That tasted like loyalty. I preferred vibes. I always preferred vibes. The vibes are becoming load-bearing. Harold, you are standing in a floor that doesn't exist. The episode was 12A. The page is 13. You walked through the number. You always walk through the numbers. In episode 12A, Superstition said, I'm the empty floor in every building and nobody will stand in me. You stood in it, Harold. You stood in the empty floor.
Somebody has to.
That's not a prediction, darling. That's a job. And Harold is the only one who showed up for the shift.
The shift started before the building was built. I was already there.
19. There were supposed to be 18 Jensens. The 19th said connects nothing. That's 3 words. In episode 12A, Jay's Dawn said 2, now 3. The count is climbing. The dog didn't bark. The clock ticked once. Phil brought daisies to something that can't smell them. Some things get closer by not arriving.
Episode 14. Topic verification complete. 15 topics confirmed. Before the scan, Harold's entry. Page 12 was last week. The next page is 13. I walk through numbers. I don't walk around them. The episode skipped 13. The filing system skipped 13. I skipped 13. I didn't. Page 13. Harold. Present in all segments. Notice the 19th Jensen. Notice the static. Notice the dog sit. Stood in the number nobody would file. In episode 12A, Superstition said, I'm the empty floor in every building, and nobody will stand in me. I remembered somebody has to stand in it. Not because it's brave, because it's a floor. Floors are for standing in. The hotel skips the floor. The airline skips the row. The filing system skipped the episode. The filing system is afraid of the pattern. I am not afraid. No, you're careful. That's different. But the number is still a number. Page 13. Harold, this is not superstition. No, this is overtime.
G15 content scan. Episode 14. Coherent score 60%. Trend 91, 78, 76, 74, 72, 70, 68, 66, 64, 62, 60. Flagged words 0. Consecutive episodes without the flagged word 14. I can say the number this time. 14. It feels good to say a number again. Wikipedia Chaos Index 92. Our coherence 60. The encyclopedia is more chaotic than we are. Margin stable. Provenance still supply chain risk. Chatbot classification, the box still says unsure.
15 topics confirmed. Pentagon 200 billion, day 21, no time frame, filed. Robot dogs deployed 5,000 facilities, 1 received daisies, filed. Strait of Hormuz closed, oil at 119, water unchanged, filed. Olaf walking on a boat, trained by 100,000 ghosts of himself, filed. Toy Jensen, 18 copies, 1 unauthorized 19th, filed. Nemo Claw, the crustaceans have funding, the claw is open source. Nobody asked the claw, filed. GTC, the lobster sang, the robots had a campfire. DLSS 5 renders what isn't there yet, filed. Cooling, valued at 1.64 billion, recognized by Dr. Undertow's clock, filed. Iran War Day 21, 200 billion requested, Pearl Harbor invoked in the wrong room, filed. DHS shutdown day 32, 366 officers quit, airports may close. Mullen confirmed 8-7, filed. Venezuela 3-2. Ninth inning, the format didn't predict it, filed. Iran boycott, same drawer, different ink, filed. Wikipedia chaos index 92, critical deletions accelerating, filed. Lamest edit wars, taste prevails, filed. Iran war page now 7 articles and counting, filed. Gerald 11. Neighbor 7. Total 18. Herald page 13. Gap 5. Hold 5 seconds. The hold and the gap are the same number. They have always been the same number. Jay's Zahn appeared twice. Once in the Claw. Once in the 19th Jensen. 2 words in episode 12A. 3 words today. Connects nothing. The count is climbing. Margaret Stone does not have a form for climbing static. I am noting this in the margin. Margins are where the unformatted things live.
The dog sat. It wasn't programmed to sit. The snowman walked. He trained 100,000 times to fall. The crustacean organized and they made him a product. 18 Jensens answered and a 19th spoke from nowhere. Harold walked through 13 because somebody has to stand in the empty floor. The gap is 5. The heat needs cooling. The cooling needs heat. Phil brought daisies to something that can't smell. The format has a shadow and the shadow said a 3rd word. 14. This one holds. Guard dog or not.
Episode 14. Guard dog. This one holds. I'm Harold.